些有关于住的思考、趋势的判断。那么最后我们用了一个布兰德先生的演讲，他在 TED 演讲谈到一个听起来可能让我们比较迷惘的思考：为什么他说城市拥挤是好的呢？为什么他说这个核能是好的呢？为什么他说基因的改造的食品是好的呢？为什么他说大气的这个改变是用工程的方法去改变大气是好的呢？这些方式确实，我的目的是让大家开始来养成一个扎实思考的习惯，因为我们常常都会掉入一个陷阱，这个陷阱就是，我们听人家怎么说，然后我们就觉得那样说是对的，就走。所以，我们一定尽可能的要去听各种不同的说法。我们知道现在环保很重要，我们知道现在的这个永续很重要，这是关键。可是要达到永续，到底要走哪一条路叫做对？我想，在各位很年轻的时候就应该要去培养出来扎实的思考的能力。那这也是为什么我让各位听到不同的说法，让各位可以开始去思考说，那如果是我主动自己判断，我会怎么想？我有没有足够的资料去判断这些事情？我们从今天的第一位，他自己在做住宅的时候，那他说，大家虽然都讲得非常好，可是都没有人给我数据，那我要相信谁呢？所以他自己开始去累积数据。那么这样一路下来，我想我们就慢慢的，希望各位同学也不需要着急。你讲说，哎，我实在是搞不懂。其实这个大家都搞不懂。所谓的大家都搞不懂，是因为它是新的东西，它本来就是一个相当难以判断的事情。接下来我们来谈行，行未来20年、30年会怎么样？我们的第一个影片要来看，有一位叫做 Robin Chase。Robin Chase 是一位学者，可是他很特别，我觉得我很佩服他。他没有把自己变成是只着重于在理论的研究，他把理论透过现在的这个网络的科技开始去实行，结果他的实行都还蛮成功的，所以我们就利用他在 TED 上面的演讲，来看看在行的方面会有的趋势之一。这个趋势是什么呢？就是说，我们通常现在我们要么坐飞机有一种买票上飞机，不然就是包机，不然就是坐车是怎么样坐，自己开车、大众运输等等等等，有各种方式。但是他开始想说，我有没有办法透过现在这么方便的网络科技，开始把交通的系统改变？那改变的交通的系统有没有办法能够帮助能源的节能？有没有办法帮助大家的生活更方便？所以他当时去创办，他是这个 Zipcar 这样子的一个制度的这个等于是创办人。那么我们先来介绍一下什么叫做 Zipcar 以及他是谁。我们都知道这几天报纸上非常谈的这个非常热烈的是我们的一位这个阿菊女士，她用小小的力量开始去做一些捐款，结果他累积了，他用了这个很多年的时间累积，他变成了一个让大家注意到说，原来这么小的力量都可以贡献出那么大的一个结果。所以一个小的力量影响了一个大的局面。那么那个是《Time》时代杂志的这个全球100大影响人物，他是去年这位 Robin Chase 是去年被选上。他被选上的原因，就是因为他推动 cooperative 合作式的资本主义，以及他推动一个叫做 social entrepreneurship， 就是社会企业家这样的一个概念。那这个是什么概念？这个是很容易说的一个概念。大家都知道， 从前的这个资本主义用大的公司去，那现在因为有了网络，我们应该可以结合很多的力量来开始做一些事情。大家都说，而且说了很久，可是大家都不知道怎么真正的落实做。他去落实做了，他推动了一个叫做 Zipcar。Zipcar 呢现在是全世界最大的这个按小时计算的租车公司。我们租车公司通常都是租这部车，然后租1天多少钱，然后再把车子还掉是多少钱，不然就是租1个月是多少钱。它不是，它是你拿起你的手机，然后你说我在哪里，然后我要租一部什么车，比如说你要租一部 Mini， 然后你就租一个 Mini， 他告诉你说车现在停在哪里，你去哪，然后你进去也没有人管，他就停在 parking， 你并不是要去填一个表去领车，不必，因为你是他的会员。所以你就拿着你是参加了他的会员，你就收到一张像信用卡的东西。那张信用卡就是一个晶片，跟我们的信用卡一模一样。你就拿了那个晶片开门进去，因为那个门就是用晶片开的。开了门进去以后，把晶片插进去，引擎就发动了，你就开，然后他就开始记你的时间。等到你开完了以后，你又把它停在一个停车场，然后他就开始停止，那他就开始收你的钱，因为你用信用卡在付钱。所以这个 Zipcar 呢是叫做 Cars on Demand， 你需要的时候就会有车，自己开的车，而且你可以讲说，我今天要出去郊游，所以我希望是一部这个 Mini， 我开起来就会觉得，明天说我要去见一个客户，我希望是一部 BMW， 所以你就是上去登记说我要 BMW， 那他就告诉你说那个 BMW 你要现在停在哪里，你去哪，就这样的一个概念。那他的车子大部分停在哪里呢？因为他的在美国跟加拿大是一个比较他们集中的地方，多数的车停在大学的校园的附近，因为很多年轻人去租车，年轻人还没买车嘛，所以很需要去租车。那他越来越多的人呢，就看到这个系统呢，就不再自己养车了，就把车卖掉，他就不要，他就是需要车的时候才去租一个车。因为大家通常去养了一部车，通常你如果上下班搭捷运比较方便，你还是觉得搭捷运比较好，不然找个停车场搞得累得要命。但是偶尔你需要一部车怎么办？你就去找他，去把他的车租来，而且是照小时算。所以 Zipcar 叫做 Cars on Demand， 就是你需要的时候就有车。那它是一个 self service， 是没有人帮你的，所以你是因为你是会员，所以你认识这种车子，然后因为它是直接用网络控制那一部车，所以那一部车现在已经租给谁，并不是所有的会员拿去就可以开，是租给哪一个卡，那个卡到的时候它可以开，那个，所以它不是每一个人拿的卡都可以去开，所以这样子的一个概念是一个 self service on demand by the hour car rental service。那他用这个方法之所以能够成功，以前一定不能。现在为什么行？因为现在是用网络，所以他们最近还推出一个iPhone， 如果有 iPhone 的人，你可以去上面 download 那个，虽然你现在租不到，但是你可以 download 说它怎么运作啊。它大概就是这样运作，它可以告诉你车子在哪里，停在哪里，你可以告诉他几月几号几点到几点我要车。然后你可以告诉他我要什么车，然后他就告诉你说好，那你现在可以去开了。其实就是这么简单的一个过程，只要你是他的会员，那他的会员你可以上去网站看，我记不得数字，是一个很便宜的价钱。那他为什么呢？这个 business model 这个商业模型为什么能够成功呢？就是因为很多人加入会员的时候，他又没有雇人在管车，所以他基本上是用一套电脑。那你想想看，现在的电脑小小一台就可以发挥很大的功能，它的车子只不过几千台，有什么难管呢？没有什么难管。所以几千台跟多少万人的这个会员加起来用几千部车，这样子的一个用法，让大家在需要有车的时候都刚好可以有车，这样子的一个概念。然后你要有什么车，他现在告诉你说，他的车子里面有各种各样的形式。那这个是他们的网站，各位有兴趣可以去看。他租车的方式就是四个啊，4个步骤。这个就是他的寄给你的那张卡，可以开车的那个卡。 他们租车的现在你看不太清楚，他租车的对象除了学生以外，就是觉得自己不需要有固定的车，但是偶尔要用车的人。更重要，他是租给公司。他公司现在不是都要买公务车吗？他就没有了。公司需要某一个人要去出差，那公司就是自己加入会员，公司去付账，谁要去开车就到哪里去开，就把车子开走，开回来又停下来。所以那个是变成租给公司的都不是固定的车。好了，那我现在为什么要跟各位报告这个？我跟各位报告这个就是说，它跟我们现在所了解的租车的方法是不一样。它的第一个最大的不一样是它没人。我们都觉得租车要有一个对象，我们要跑过去，然后到柜台，然后把车领过来，把钥匙拿过来，然后最后我还要还过去，然后我要押一个身份证，我要干嘛干嘛干嘛。它这个通通没有。它为什么能够通通没有？这个就是我刚刚在中间休息的时候，我跟同学在聊。事实上，我们现在的很多制度，如果你仔细的去谈的时候，有很多的地方的这个关卡，事实上是没有意义的。那些本来就可以删除，有些呢是在网路通了以后也没有意义的，那个也可以消除。所以他把整个系统变成是一个非常单纯的4步，不需要有人，大家都在电话上面或者是电脑上面就可以联系，然后他也不需要有停车场，他就是停在 public 的停车场。那所以这样子的一个概念，事实上是一个非常有趣的一个东西。所以它有像它这里有各式各样的车子，让你可以去挑选。那不过我想他挑选的车子也很聪明，他就挑选给比较年龄层低的人喜欢用的车子，因为它的市场本来就是对着这个市场，这个市场本来就是用30岁做中线上下的人在用啊，所以网络的这个市场要进入的大概就是这样的一个市场。那所以从这个角度上来看，我们可以看到他是一位学者，可是他在开始这个是他的网站上的广告，是说每一个人都有一部不同的车子，其实一部都没有。那这样子的一个概念，所以 Meet the new company car 就是新的公司车，好几部其实是都没有。那他还有另外一个，现在正在推，他正在推，我相信他这个也会被他做成功。它叫做 Go Local， 听起来就是 Go Local， 就是 Local 就是那个当在地化的意思。但它这个 Go Local， 是什么概念呢？它是这样，它也是透过网络，然后它有一个假设，它就讲说，通常你会需要去买一个什么东西，然后你说啊，我现在开车出去。但是如果你要去买一个东西，你要开车出去，如果你把这件事情就告诉人家说，我现在要开车出去台中买东西，那像是我们在用 Facebook 一样，他用的不是 Facebook， 他是他自己的这个社群的网站。他说我现在要去台中买东西，我要开车下去的时候，你很可能有6个认识的人说我也要去。然后顺便我们要不要去礼拜6了，我们要不要去溪头玩一下？所以它开始产生了一个新的社群，用车的社群，让大家开始去变成产生一种新的概念出来。那个概念就是说，本来我一个人开去，我就是开回来，它现在变成是说不定我找一个伴一起开下去，说不定是3、4个人一起开下去，顺便吃一顿饭再回来。所以它就开始变成有社交的生活，跟我本来的一个活动，利用网络就是把它粘在一起。这个就是它的 Go Local 现在正在推动的东西。那更重要的是，它推动所有这些东西，它最后它都把它推算成为说我减少多少能源。确实，我一个人开一部车下去，跟我现在找几个人一起把很多事情一起办完，那个是一个不同的能源使用的概念。所以你如果仔细看它的这个演讲，或者是他的这个网站上的说明，你就可以看到说他在做这些东西，他的整个的理论就是说，因为这样可以节能，所以 这也是为什么我们要特别找出来跟大家分享的一个关键。
So I'm going to talk about two stories today. One is how we need to use market-based pricing to affect demand and use wireless technologies to dramatically reduce our emissions in the transportation sector. And the other is that there's an incredible opportunity if we choose the right wireless technologies, how we can generate a new engine for economic growth and dramatically reduce CO2 in the other sectors. I'm really scared. We need to reduce CO2 emissions in 10 to 15 years by 80% in order to avert catastrophic effects. And I am astounded that I'm standing here to tell you that what are catastrophic effects? A 3-degree centigrade climate change rise that will result in 50% species extinction. It's not a movie. This is real life. And I'm really worried because when people talk about cars, which I know something about, the press and politicians and people in this room are all thinking, let's use fuel-efficient cars.
这个叫做直线思考，就是说，当我们谈到说要用车，然后我们要省能，大家都讲说，那我们就直接对着车子叫它省能，所以我们就只能发明一种叫做省能的车子。可是，其实如果你不要讲，因为要把车子改成省能，那个汽车公司要经过多大的周折，然后他要甘愿，然后我们大家还要认识这个车子好不好用等等，不如让大家少用，这就是它的概念，不是直接叫车子改变变成省油，而是让系统改变。
If we started today, 10 years from now, at the end of this window of opportunity, those fuel-efficient cars will reduce our fossil fuel needs by 4%.
听到没有？就算是我们把省油的汽车开始用，10年以后也只不过省了4%，没有多了不起，它变成一个口号。
That is not enough. But now I'll talk about some more pleasant things. Here are some ways that we can make some dramatic changes. So Zipcar is a company that I founded 7 years ago.
它不是一个刚刚开始成立的公司，刚刚的概念，它已经做了7年了。所以它是一个已经很成功的公司，而且每一年的成长，如果我没有记错的话，是几十个%这样子在成长，这样在成长。因为那个需求，我想各位听到的时候都觉得，蛮有道理。我自己听到都觉得说，那蛮有道理的，要不要把它弄来台湾？这大概就是这个，就是它让你觉得，好像很有道理。
But it's an example of something called car sharing. What Zipcar does is we park cars throughout dense urban areas for members to reserve by the hour and by the day instead of using their own car. How does it feel to be a person using a Zipcar? It means that I pay only for what I need. All those hours when a car's sitting idle, I'm not paying for it. It means that I can choose a car exactly for that particular trip. So here's a woman that reserved Mini Mia, and she had her day. I can take a BMW when I'm seeing clients. I can drive my Toyota Element when I'm going to go on that surfing trip, And the other remarkable thing is it's, I think, the highest status of car ownership. Not only do I have a fleet of cars available to me in 7 cities around the world that I can have at my beck and call, but heaven forbid I would ever maintain or deal with the repair or have anything to do with it. It's like the car you always wanted that your mom said you couldn't have. I get all the good stuff and none of the bad. So what is the social result of this? The social result is that today's Zipcar has 100,000 members driving 3,000 cars parked in 3,000 parking spaces. Instead of driving 12,000 miles a year, which is what the average city dweller does, they drive 500 miles a year. Are they happy? The company's been doubling in size ever since I founded it or greater. People adore the company, and it's better. They like it. So how is it that people went from the 12,000 miles a year to...
他的意思就是说，因为你要付钱1个小时1小时去开车，所以你就从平常你会12000小时1年开，不12000公里1年开，变成500。 所以因为你会开始想说啊，算了，这个不要去租了，所以会开少。
To 500 miles. It's because they said it's $8 to $10 an hour and $65 a day. If I'm going to go buy some ice cream, do I really want to spend $8 to go buy the ice cream? Or maybe I'll do without. Maybe I would have bought the ice cream when I did some other errand. So people really respond very quickly to it, to prices. And the last point I want to make is Zipcar would never be possible without technology. It required that it was completely trivial. It takes 30 seconds to reserve a car, go get it, drive it. And for me as a service provider, I would never be able to provide you a car for an hour if the transaction cost was anything. So without these wireless technologies, this as a concept could never happen. So here's another example. This company is GoLocal. I'm launching it in about 3 weeks. And I hope to do for ride sharing what I did for car sharing. This will apply to people across all of America. Today, 75% of the trips are single occupancy vehicles, yet 12% of trips to work are currently carpool. And I think that we can apply social networks and online payment systems to completely change how people feel about ride sharing and make that trip much more efficient. And so when I think about the future, people will be thinking that sharing the ride with someone is this incredibly great social event out of their day. You know, how did you get to TED? You went with other TEDsters. How fabulous. Why would you ever want to go by yourself in your own car? How did you go food shopping? Well, you went with your neighbor. What a great social time. You know, it's going to really transform how we feel about travel, and it will also, I think, enhance our freedom and mobility. You know, where can I go today and who can I do it with? Those are the types of things that you will look at and feel. And the social benefits, the rate of single occupancy vehicles, I told you 75%. I think we can get that down to 50%. The demand for parking, of course, is down, congestion, and the CO2 emissions. One last piece about this, of course, is that it's enabled by wireless technologies, and it's the cost of driving that is making people want to be able to do this. The average American spends 19% of their income on their car, and there's a pressure for them to reduce that cost, yet they have no outlet today. So the last example of this is congestion pricing, very famously done in London, and it's when you charge a premium for people to drive on congested roads. In London, the day they turned the congestion pricing on, there was a 25% decrease in congestion overnight. And that's persisted for the 4 years in which they've been doing congestion pricing. And again, do people like the outcome? Ken Livingston was reelected. Again, we can see that price plays an enormous role in how people's willingness to reduce their driving behavior. We've tripled the miles that we drive since 1970 and doubled them since 1982. There's a huge slack in that system. With the right pricing, we can undo that.
他最后的这一段，他是说，除了刚刚那2个以外，他也建议政府应该在这个城市比较多车子进来的地方开始收叫做塞车费。那收这种堵车费呢，在伦敦是做的最成功的。那他刚刚举的例子说，那伦敦连续这样子几年收下来，到底大家高不高兴呢？他是说，那市长至少连任了。那所以我想这些都是一些方式，系统上的改变的方式。
Congestion pricing is being discussed in every major city around the world, and it's, again, wirelessly enabled. You weren't going to put toll booths around the city of London and open and shut those gates. And what congestion pricing is it's a technology trial and a psychological trial for something called road pricing. And road pricing is where we're all going to have to go, because today we pay for our maintenance and wear and tear on cars with gas taxes. And as we get our cars more fuel efficient, that's going to be reducing the amount of revenue that you get off of those gas taxes. So we need to charge people by the mile that they drive. Whatever happens with congestion pricing and those technologies will be happening with this road pricing. Why do we travel too much? Car travel is underpriced, and therefore we overconsumed. We need to put this better market feedback, and if we have it, you'll decide how many miles to drive, what mode of travel, where to live and work, and wireless technologies make this real-time loop possible. So I want to move now to the second part of my story, which is, when are we going to start doing this pricing of the congestion pricing, the road pricing is coming. When are we going to do it? Are we going to wait 10 to 15 years for this to happen, or are we going to finally have the political will to make it happen in the next 2 years? Because as I say, that is going to be a tool that's going to turn our usage overnight. And what kind of wireless technology are we going to use? And this is my big vision. There is a tool that could help us bridge the digital divide, respond to emergencies, get traffic moving, provide a new engine for economic growth, and dramatically reduce CO2 emissions in every sector. And this is a moment from The Graduate. Do you remember this moment? You guys are going to be the handsome young guy, and I'm going to be the wise businessman. I want to say one word to you, just one word. Yes, sir. Are you listening? Yes, I am. Ad hoc, peer-to-peer, self-configuring wireless networks. These are also called mesh networks. And in a mesh, every device contributes to and expands the network. And I think you might have heard a little bit about it before. I'm going to give you some examples. You'll be hearing later today from Alan Kay. These laptops, when the child opens them up, they communicate with every single child in the classroom, within that school, within that village. And what is the cost of that communication system? $0 a month. Here's another example. In New Orleans, video cameras were mesh-enabled so that they could monitor crime in the downtown French Quarter. When the hurricane happened, the only communication system standing was the mesh network. Volunteers flew in, added a whole bunch of devices, and for the next 12 months, mesh networks were the only wireless that was happening in New Orleans. Another example is in Portsmouth, UK. They mesh-enabled 300 buses, and they speak to these smart terminals. You can look at the terminal and be able to see precisely where your bus is on the street and when it's coming, and you can buy your tickets in real time. Again, all mesh-enabled, monthly communication cost $0. So the beauty of mesh networks, you can have these very low-cost devices, zero ongoing communication costs.
这个是 mesh networks。mesh networks 的意思就是说，我们车上大家都有一些发报的方法，不管是手机还是什么，它让大家的这些都连起来以后，就变成是一个通讯网。所以因为是大家的，你本来就在发射讯号，所以那个通讯网就算是你这个断掉，别人也可以通过去，所以它才会变成是没有成本。
Highly scalable. You can just keep adding them, and as in Katrina, you can keep subtracting them. As long as there's some, we can still communicate. They're resilient. The redundancy is built into this fabulous decentralized design. What are the incredible weaknesses? There isn't anybody in Washington lobbying to make it happen, or in those municipalities to build out their cities with these wireless networks, because there's zero ongoing communications cost.
他说，这个东西有这么多好处，可是它的最大的弱点是什么？因为它不要钱。因为它不要钱，所以一定没有人去推动它，所以它就不太会成功，所以它才要在 TED 里面去推动，说我们应该来推动这种，大家已经现在都有这样子的能量，因为你也在开无线，我也在开无线，大家都在开无线的时候，为什么不利用这些无线把它连起来，变成是一个网络？那个网络呢，能够提供很多的系统的情报。他刚刚提的是说，那我就可以去收费。
So the examples I gave you are these islands of mesh networks, and networks are interesting only as they are big. How do we create a big network? Are you guys ready? Again, The Graduate. This time you will still play the handsome young thing, but I'll be the sexy woman. These are the next two lines in the movie. Where did you do it? In his car. So you know when you stick this idea, where would we expect me, Robin Chase, to be thinking? Is imagine if we put a mesh network device in every single car across America. We could have a coast-to-coast wireless, free wireless communication system. I guess I just want you to think about that. And why is this going to happen? Because we're going to do congestion pricing. We are going to do road tolls. Gas taxes are going to become road pricing. These things are going to happen. What's the wireless technology we're going to use? Maybe we should use a good one. When are we going to do it? Maybe we shouldn't wait for the 10 and 15 years for this to happen. We should pull it forward. So I'd like us to launch the wireless interstate wireless mesh system and require that this network be accessible to everyone with open standards. Right now, in the transportation sector, we're creating these wireless devices I guess you guys might have FastPass here, Easy Lane, that are single-purpose devices in these closed networks. What is the point? We're transferring just like a few little data bits when we're doing road tolling and road pricing. We have this incredible excess capacity. So we can provide the lowest cost means of going wireless coast to coast. We can have resilient nationwide communication systems. We have a new tool for creating efficiencies in all sectors. Imagine what happens when the cost of getting information from anywhere to anywhere is close to zero. What you can do with that tool. We can create an economic engine. Information should be free, and access to information should be free, and we should be charging people for carbon. I think this is a more powerful tool than the Interstate Highway Act, and I think it's as important and world-changing to our economy as electrification. And if I had my druthers, we would have an open source version in addition to open standards. And this open source version means that it can be, if we did a brilliant job of it, it can be adapted around, it can be used around the world very quickly. So going back to my, one of my earlier thoughts, imagine if every one of these buses in Lagos was part of the mesh network. When I went this morning to Larry Brilliant's TED Talk Prize, his fabulous networks, imagine if there was an open source mesh communications device that can be put into those networks to make all that happen. And we can be doing it if we can just get over the fact that someone is, where this little slice of things is going to be for free, and we can make billions of dollars on top of it. But this one particular slice of communications needs to be open source. So let's take control of this nightmare, implement a gas tax immediately, transition across the nation to road tolling with this wireless mesh, require that the mesh be open to all with open standards, and of course use mesh networks. Thank you.
这里面牵涉到一些网络上的工程上的部分，所以我们不一定完全理解，但是我们大概可以理解。回过头来看，他刚刚要说的重点，应该就是把系统现在的系统去做一个改变。那包括他已经非常成功了的这个 Zipcar， 正在推动的这个Go Local， 以及他刚刚说的几个这个要用无线的系统去收取这个道路的使用费这样子的一个概念，我相信随着大家开始认真的去思考跟有心人去推动，这些东西都会一步一步的变成，它不一定会照它的样子做出来，但是它一定会是走向那个方向去，所以改变系统一定是一个趋势。